This is a story of love, desire, and the shadows that hide behind every smile. Meet Amelia, a woman who has learned to guard her heart until fate places Marcus in her path. Their connection is instant, their passion undeniable. But every beginning carries a secret. And not every spark burns forever. Welcome to part 1 of When the Heart Remembers. Amelia had always believed that love would come quietly, like a soft sunrise after a long night. She was not the kind of woman who chased it. Life kept her busy working long hours at the marketing firm, balancing bills, and finding small joys in books and evening walks. Love, she thought, would arrive when it was meant to. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. It happened on an ordinary Tuesday evening. Her boss insisted she attend a networking event at a downtown hotel, the kind with polished marble floors, cold champagne, and conversations that sounded rehearsed. Amelia wasn't fond of those gatherings. She found them exhausting, filled with too many fake smiles and too many people pretending they had life all figured out. She considered slipping out early. But then, across the crowded room, she noticed him. Marcus. He wasn't the loudest man there, nor the flashiest. He didn't hover around the biggest group or try to impress anyone with shallow charm. Instead, he stood slightly apart, listening more than he spoke, carrying himself with a quiet confidence that made him stand out without effort. Their eyes met only briefly, but in that instant, Amelia felt something she hadn't felt in years: curiosity. Later, when Marcus introduced himself, their conversation flowed with unexpected ease. No forced pleasantries, no awkward pauses. He spoke about his career in architecture, his love for design, his fascination with creating spaces where people felt they belonged. And Amelia, who usually kept her guard up, found herself opening up about her own life, her struggles with balancing work and dreams, her passion for writing on the side, her longing for something more than routine. When she laughed at one of his dry jokes, it didn't feel polite. It felt real. That night, as she left the event, Amelia caught herself smiling in a way she hadn't in a long time. She told herself it was nothing, just a pleasant conversation with a stranger. But deep down, she knew the spark had already been lit. Over the next few weeks, Marcus and Amelia's paths intertwined. What started with a casual exchange of numbers became a series of coffee dates. Coffee dates turned into dinners. Dinners became long walks through the city streets where the hours slipped away unnoticed. He was attentive in a way Amelia hadn't experienced before. He remembered the smallest details. Her favorite tea was chamomile, not green. She hated crowded malls but loved quiet bookstores. He noticed how she tucked her hair behind her ear whenever she was nervous. And on their third meeting, he surprised her with an old jazz record, knowing she collected them. Marcus had a way of making her feel seen. Not just looked at, but truly seen. Amelia tried to keep her heart guarded. She had been hurt before, disappointed by promises that were never kept, left behind by someone who swore they would stay. She promised herself she wouldn't fall so easily again. But the heart has its own timing, and hers had already leapt ahead. One evening, they sat together on the balcony of her apartment. The city stretched out before them, its lights flickering like scattered stars. A cool breeze swept through, carrying with it the faint sound of traffic below. It was one of those rare, peaceful nights where time seemed to pause. Marcus reached for her hand, his touch firm yet gentle. He stared out at the skyline for a moment before speaking. "Amelia," he said softly, "I don't know where this is going. But I know I don't want to lose it." Her heart trembled at his words. They weren't dramatic or poetic, but they were honest. And honesty was something she valued more than grand gestures. For the first time in a long while, Amelia allowed herself to believe in love again. Days turned into weeks, and their connection only grew deeper. Marcus became her confidant, the first person she wanted to call when something went wrong or when something went right. He supported her ambitions, encouraged her when she doubted herself, and reminded her that she deserved happiness. Their story seemed almost too good to be true. And maybe that was why Amelia sometimes caught herself studying him when he wasn't looking, trying to read the quiet spaces between his words. Because every so often, in the middle of laughter or during a quiet pause, she noticed something in his eyes. A flicker. A hesitation. As if a part of him was holding back. One night, she asked him about his past. He smiled, but his answer was vague. He spoke of childhood memories, of dreams and failures, but avoided certain details. It was subtle, but Amelia sensed it, the parts of himself he wasn't ready to share. She brushed it off, convincing herself that everyone had secrets. That in time, he would open up. But somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice whispered, "Be careful." Then came the evening that would stay etched in her memory. It was late, and they were sitting in a small cafe tucked away on a side street. Rain drizzled against the windows, and the world outside felt hushed. Marcus had been quieter than usual, lost in thought. When Amelia asked if something was wrong, he reached across the table, taking her hand in his. "I'm just thinking," he said with a faint smile. "About how life surprises you when you least expect it. About how sometimes, the right person shows up when you're not even looking." His words melted her heart, and yet, there it was again, that flicker in his eyes. Something unspoken. Something that didn't quite fit. Amelia ignored it, choosing instead to hold on to the warmth of the moment. But fate, patient and relentless, always finds its way forward. Because this was only the beginning of their story. This was only the beginning. In part 2, love will be tested, and betrayal will strike where Amelia least expects it. Don't miss what happens next.